welcome to the Bullcast Podcast. I'm Katie Pickler, and with me today is Cameron Spann.
Hey, what's up, gang?
And Court Winsett.
Hello.
We had our Cinco de Mayo. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
And
I wasn't there, so y'all had fun with that.
Cameron, where you been?
Just gone all the time.
all the time. Well, but you're here because we are going to talk about mothers.
You are the authority on mothers.
I have a mother. I am married to a mother.
Everyone came from a mother. I feel like we need to cue like the video of like all the Disney, mother and children scenes, stuff like that. But no, we thought we'd do an episode because Mother's Day this is coming to you on Thursday. Mother's Day is Sunday. Did you hear that? Mother's Day is Sunday. So if you need to
Do you have
go
a present
shopping,
for your mother?
you need to go get a card. You need to get
Are you my mommy?
you get the crayons out, get the kids to draw something, whatever you got to do. I mean, I guess you as a grown 40-year-old could color something for your mother, right?
I am
Precious.
neither a colorer nor am I 40, so she must be talking to you.
Aiming it right at me. I'll color something for my mom.
So mother knows best. We're going to start off with a list of the best TV moms. Now, there's going to be a big old debate on some of these.
Oh, yeah, listen. There are already some that I'm seeing that I'm like, are they left off this one? What?
So I'll start it off. We'll just round robin this. So Tammy Taylor from Friday Night Lights.
Never watched Friday Night
That's
Lights.
a solid pick. I approve of that.
I mean, I have no objection, but I have never watched it. Number 2 is Lorelai Gilmore. I mean, seriously.
She's very different than her mother, Emily Gilmore.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Now, I haven't seen this show, so I'm going to need some help.
Oh,
Number
so
3 is Rebecca and Beth Pearson from This Is Us. Is that Mandy Moore's character one of those?
I have watched the first season of the show, and I could not tell you Mandy Moore's character's name, but
I tried to start watching this show, and Court told me not to.
Well, yeah, given your current condition, I said that it was probably not the best thing emotionally for you to watch right now, because it does have kind of a hard-hitting sort of core element.
And to not pick on you as much, I did put that on my Snapchat story, and I think 20 people responded, and only one person said yes, watch it. Everybody else said, oh, no, don't
God,
do that. No.
Rebecca Pearson is portrayed by Mandy Moore. Beth Pearson is portrayed by Susan Watson.
Oh, that's the son's wife. So then we've got Marge Simpson from The Simpsons.
I get June Cleaver, which is, I mean, like, she's got to be one of the best moms ever.
You know what's not on this list? Means the best moms ever? The Happy Days mom.
Well,
She,
Cunningham.
Cunningham, Miss C. That's everybody called her. Like, she was everybody's mama.
Uh-huh.
After June Cleaver comes another classic TV mom, Carol Brady from The Brady Bunch.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Florida Evans from Good Times.
This next one is interesting. We're going like full on like current moms. And I mean, honestly, I'm seeing look on your face. Do you remember what she went through to get her boy back from upside down land?
She's also crazy. What constitutes as the best TV mom? Is it just well known, or is that they're actually a good mom?
I thought we were going with people who were good moms.
Yeah, I'm thinking like wholesome mamas that like are mamas to everybody.
Joyce Byers is cray-cray.
So next one on the list is Joyce Byers from Stranger Things. She does like drop everything and go after her child who is in the
upside down.
So a resilient mama.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, Kitty Foreman from That 70s Show. She is lost in space and time.
But she always took care of the kids.
Yes, always. That's right.
Yeah. Okay, and then Carmela Soprano from The Sopranos. Okie dokie. So obviously, as you saw, there's a lot that are not on that list that we agree. There's moms are represented all the time on different TV shows. There are some really bad moms out there, some really good moms. But you're right. Like, what defines the best mom? I mean, that's a hard definition. So Mother's Day is an emotional time. Whether you're celebrating your mom, celebrating the mother of your children, missing your mom, or a mom, we love and support you all. Oh, those birthdays really should be about the mom because they're the ones that had to put up with the crap that day.
Mother's Day is about the mom. Y'all get a whole day. The kids get the birthday, the moms get Mother's Day, and
fathers get Father's Day.
Yeah. Don't even try and act like fathers get the same thing for Father's Day that mothers do for Mother's Day. That's just silly. Dads are like, yes, it's Father's Day.
So we interrupted. Mother's Day is emotional for many reasons.
Yeah. I mean, it's because everybody came from a mother.
100%.
You could have been birthed by one mother, raised by another. Like, I know I have some of my mom's friends that I call, like, Mama Jane, people that are acting like mother figures. Doesn't dilute who's my true mom, but you have other mothers. And that's where, like, I think Miss C, June Cleaver, like, they ended up being mothers to a lot of the other kids in the neighborhood. And so, because it truly does take a village. So there's lots of other different kinds of mamas out there. We got all kinds of mamas.
Yeah,
We got
you got working mamas.
working, stay at home.
Stay at home.
What about
You
those
got-
single mamas?
Yeah. Listen, the ones that are working, not only working moms, but also single moms working like 3 jobs, holding some stuff down. I mean, it's crazy. Obviously, sometimes an auntie or a grandmother might be the one that's actually raising a child
Yeah, that's
instead
true.
of the biological mothers. You said there's the
Mother figures.
mother figures.
So you're raised by a village and you kind of learn different things, and you need your tough love mom, but then you need a mom to be so many different things. And I love how, TikTok and social media still says it's like, I'm, 40 years old, but it's like when I call my mom, why has she not answered the phone? I am her pride and joy. Why is she not answering? Because so much of it is especially, I think, it's a different connection because mothers and sons have different connections. Mothers and sons have different connections than mothers and daughters do.
Oh, yeah, definitely. There's definitely a different relationship that exists between a mother and a daughter than there is between a mother and a son or a father and a daughter, as
Yeah.
I am frequently reminded by my wife. The dynamics change just from child to child and from parent to parent. It's interesting. But mothers are definitely special.
They are. Did y'all ever see the movie Trading Mom? It came out in 1994.
No.
I vividly remember watching this several times. I don't know if my mom maybe like one day I was being a brat and she's like, watch this movie. Because it has Sissy Spacek in it and then has Anna from My Girl.
Oh,
yeah.
Klumsky.
Klumsky?
Klumsky?
Yeah. The girl that was on Veep?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, Anna, we love you. We just can't pronounce your last name. But this movie was all about sister and 2 brothers were mad at their mom. And then all of a sudden it's about like they go to this place and can switch out and get a new mom. And the 3 kids each get a token. And so they each get to pick a mom. And so the first one, like, it's like all about like, oh, well, who do you want? You want more of the circusy mom or you want more of the like fashionista mom. And it's just about them going through these different struggles and it's about appreciating your mother because it's like the grass is always greener on the other side. You think you want this one thing, but really at the end of the day, you just want your mom. So I don't know. It's super sweet, but it's...
This episode is already getting a little bit too
Touchy-feely for you?
sugary for me, so I'm just
Okay,
gonna
well,
I'm gonna
let's-
sit back here and just observe.
Let's pivot it a little bit. So financial lessons we learned from
Finally,
mom.
something I can get behind.
So
Financial lessons.
let's read through this, but then let's also talk about if there's maybe some lessons you remember learning from your mom. So save for a rainy day. Yeah, that's always, one of those.
100%.
Don't spend all your money.
Grocery shopping on a budget. Listen, one of the core memories that I have is going to Cecil's with my mom. I mean, like, actually, I have very, very vivid memories of going to Cecil's with my mom, but also there was this small corner grocery, which is really a concept that I don't think y'all even ever experienced. Back in the day, grocery stores were not big, and on major thoroughfares, there would be one in the neighborhood. There was a grocery that I went to when we were growing up called Mr. Green's.
Oh.
So I remember going to that, but then I also remember going to Cecil's. Both Mr. Green's and Cecil's are now gone, but they are definitely core memories for me.
Next financial lesson is stretching every dollar.
Makes sense.
Make it work for you.
Earning an allowance.
Oh yeah, you've talked about that many times on this podcast.
Yeah, I mean, because mom had the great marbles, and it was like in the jars, and like you would move a marble over if you did something good. You'd have to take one out if you were not acting well.
And you actually had like a checkbook or something.
Yeah, mom had a checkbook. It was the Bank of Mom. And
Yeah.
so she kept up with it. And so when I'd be in Target wanting to buy something, she'd be like, well, let's check your bank. And I'm like, well, no, I don't want to use my money. So mom tried very, very hard to teach me about money at a very early age and the difference between wanting and needing and spending your money versus spending somebody else's money.
And what about chores for allowance? Did y'all have to do chores for allowance? Like mopping the floor, doing laundry, laundry.
We always had to do chores. Allowance
the trash.
may have come, but there were always chores.
I did get paid extra above and beyond the allowance for yard work, specifically for mowing the lawn. But that was by my dad. But definitely around the house chores was kind of a mom concept, and I got my allowance if I did my chores.
So I think I've talked about this on this podcast, but a financial lesson my mom will say she did not tell me to do. Where my parents' house isn't where they still are today. It's, nice little neighborhood that you could walk. We could leave our house and go to the right-hand side and walk around the cove, and it was all still or walk around that street into the back street, and there was no major roads. But if you went to the left, there was then a major road right there. So we kind of had to loop and then loop back. There was a situation that happened in Germantown years ago. I was probably 7 or 8, and there was an investigation going on at a house down at the end of the street. And my mom knew that my brother and I were walking around the neighborhood. I was going to play with my friend Caitlin, who lived right behind us. All of a sudden, she's seeing that there's this news story about a house that's being investigated. And this lady had passed away in the house and ended up being something that she went missing because she was known for going and feeding the feral cats up at another place. And so they were investigating what happened to her.
Oh my gosh, is she the McDonald's feral cat feeding lady?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, you knew her?
Oh no.
Oh, she was a big deal. She was all over
She
the
lived
news.
down the street from us.
Wow.
And so my friends and I were setting up a concession stand while the news crew was there making money off of it.
Maybe.
She still tells this story to this day of how, yes, my little pride and joy is down there lugging a cart with some snacks and some lemonade and soft drinks, and she's just hawking it off.
Oh, man. That's crazy.
There's so much lore here that I just don't know.
Listen, Cameron, you have to understand the feral cat McDonald's feeding lady was a big
It was
thing.
a big deal.
I mean, it was a huge news story, not just for a day or two. That was a big deal. And she lived right around the corner from her. So
And I sold concessions at her investigation.
you're a monster. You are a monster.
Opportunity. Need and opportunity. That is exactly what happened there.
Supply and demand. We're all about economics here.
But mom will say she did not tell me to go do that. That was not a hustle tactic that she gave me.
No, that did not come from mom.
Mom-isms, money edition. So money doesn't grow on trees.
Obviously. Turn off the lights. You're wasting electricity.
We have food at home.
Yeah. So you got any favorite mom-isms or lessons from y'all's moms?
Something that I definitely heard my mom say when I was a kid, and somebody was criticizing a mother for saying this to their child in a store. And it was something along the lines of same sort of thing as we have food at home, or you don't need that. It's like child in the middle of a store throwing a fit because mommy wouldn't buy the child whatever the child was asking for. And the mom was like, you don't need that. I'm not going to buy it for. And can you imagine I never personally as a parent had to deal with a child throwing a fit because they weren't getting what they wanted in the middle of a store.
Because your children are perfect angels. I know Robin took them to the store. That's why you never dealt with it.
I never took my kids to the store. I was smart in that way. But I do remember being that child throwing a fit. I mean, I have a very distinct memory of throwing a fit in the middle of the store because my mom would not buy me a comic book I wanted. And I couldn't have been more than 6 or 7. But boy, I have that memory. So props to mom for not just straight up choking me out right there.
I mean, there's some patience they've got to have.
Yeah, seriously. And you're about to experience that, Katie.
Goodness. What about you, Cam?
Wait till your dad gets home. Oh, boy.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Every night.
I will tell your father.
And you are just scared the rest of the day, just waiting. No, but a concept is just I was one of 5 children, so the importance of sharing.
Yeah.
Because it's very chaotic with that many kids if you can't teach that early on,
My mom still talks about the fact that I was a little brat, and I'd be like, my mom won't buy Chips Ahoy cookies. She's like, she deprives us. She won't buy them. She's like, yeah, because I make you homemade cookies. Me, I'm thinking mom's not letting us buy these delicious store-bought cookies, not realizing I have the gold mine because she made homemade cookies. Not only did she make them, my friends and my brother's friends to this day still have these memories of we'd walk in the door, and then within 5 minutes, your mom would have fresh baked cookies there. She's like, it wasn't 5 minutes, but all these people have this same imagination of that. She just always had it on hand, ready to go. And I'm over here complaining about not getting Chips Ahoy. Moms are not appreciated enough. We do a lot of things to be brats.
100%.
Okay. The invisible economic of motherhood.
Yes.
Or the invisible economy of motherhood.
This is honestly, Katie, this is something that you and I both have encountered when we're meeting with clients.
Yeah.
A lot of times if we're dealing with a couple and the mom is a stay-at-home mom, especially if we start talking about life insurance.
Yeah, the non-providing spouse.
You'll have a spouse that is a stay-at-home spouse, and they say, if we start talking about life insurance, they're like, oh, well, you don't need life insurance for me. I don't have an income. And we're like,
bull honky.
yeah, exactly. Wait a second. What is your spouse going to do if something happens to you and all of a sudden they have to hire somebody to take care of the children?
They now got to
hire somebody to run errands,
a driver, a cook, a maid, the economic engine that is the non-working spouse, or even the non-major providing spouse. This doesn't discount those that maybe one spouse has the higher income coming in and the other one is maybe just doing a lower income job to then still be able to provide for the children.
Right.
Cooking, cleaning, caregiving, planning appointments, school events, meal preps, emotional support. Those are all unpaid.
Yeah.
But they're extremely important because kids get sick, kids have activities. Who's going to go to the craft store at 10 o'clock at night because of the project that was forgotten about?
Those trifle.
Do the kids still make those?
Yep. Stella just brought one home.
Listen, those things, man. And I don't know what it is about being a kid, but you never remember to tell your mom until the night of, like, oh, I've got a project due tomorrow. Sorry.
If you are a working spouse or if you're not, you got to provide for the international day at school or join the PTA or do different things.
That's one of the things that parents deal with is the pressure that they feel from other parents if they are not doing everything. Guys, this stuff never ends. Even when you're out of school, when your kids are still in school, you're still dealing with people judging you for what you do or do not do for the bake sale and so forth. I mean, it's crazy. But I mean, seriously, consider how much you might actually have to pay someone to do the stuff that your mom does.
So you're saying the salary that we should be giving to stay-at-home moms?
You're talking about 10 o'clock at night, having to make a trip to what's open at 10 o'clock at night? Maybe Walgreens?
Yeah. Walgreens. Yeah. Maybe you can find a Walmart.
You're paying overtime for that if you're really paying somebody to do that.
So you're going to have to probably drive not to your corner store you usually go to. You're going to have to, last minute stuff. And it's last minute, as we know, you end up paying at the mercy of what they've got. So if you only needed 1 or 2 popsicle sticks, now you bought the 500 pack.
Yes.
Because that's all that's left.
Sorry, you just gave me flashbacks to the scene from Father of the Bride where he has the fit over the hot dog buns.
Yeah. No, but my mom is amazing in the fact that she still to this day has her fully stocked room that has all different kinds of ribbon and hot glue guns and crafts.
She
and
has
stuff
a
like
wrapping
that.
room.
She's got everything that you could need for some random project or fabric or whatever. And I'm like,
packaging room, sewing room.
Yes. And she all the time reminds me, not all mothers have this. And I was like, yes, ma'am, I know this. I know this. But okay, so according to salary.com, the estimated salary for a stay-at-home mom in 2020, in 2024 would be $184,820 per year.
I bet there are a whole lot of stay-at-home parents, stay-at-home moms that would love to get paid $184,000 a year.
That's considering household management, childcare and education, cooking and meal planning, scheduling and transportation, emotional coaching and conflict resolution.
Ooh.
You're a therapist, you're the chef, you're everything. And this is for the stay-at-home moms, and this is also for moms in general and dads too, because let's face another great movie, Mr. Mom.
The quotes from that movie take up a significant amount of space in my mind. I get the things that I say that will directly relate back to Mr. Mom.
So he gets a first dose reality of what it's like to jump into mom's role because he gets laid off, mom goes to work, and he's blown away with how busy she is constantly. And one of the things that I want to talk about is, obviously these moms are not getting paid almost $200,000. When we talk about budgeting and finances, part of the conversation is you're a team. You've got to work together. So there needs to be a partnership. This mom doesn't feel like she's on a shoestring budget when she's now got to figure out how to, her allowance that she gets is now spread between the bake sale, the prom dress, a whole partnership together of how expensive it truly is. Because I have almost come across the table at some client meetings where there's been somebody of
okay, ladies and gentlemen, just so you understand, in our studio, Cameron and Katie sit on one side of the table and I sit on the other. So when she said, I've almost come across the table, I seriously thought there for a second that she was like threatening me.
No, but it's, I've had to bite my tongue because I've been in meetings, some of them prospects that never ended up becoming clients because I don't want to be with those type of people.
Right.
Where the working spouse has made comments about, well, you spend a lot of money at Costco, or do you really need to go to that gas station or get those diapers or those, snacks? And I was very proud of one mom that was like, yes, I could get the, giant thing of the yogurt, but those Go-Gurts that are just individually packed give me the time to then be able to give it to a kid and go do some laundry or go start dinner instead of me having to then scoop it out into a bowl, hand it to them, and then they get it everywhere.
I mean, let's talk about some speaking of Go-Gurt, and we didn't even
still
talk
have
about
Go-Gurt around?
I think so.
Do they? I used to tear that up.
Like, listen, I didn't have Go-Gurt when I was a kid.
You only had oatmeal and a boiling water.
And that was only if I could make a fire.
Exactly.
Mine and my wife's kids were growing up. We did have Go-Gurt, and we would freeze a Go-Gurt and then send it with the kids in their lunch.
Yeah.
And they would either have a frozen yogurt pop, or by the time lunch came around, it would actually be thawed.
Yeah.
What blows my mind is I said something to my mom about that. I was like, oh my gosh, did you know that this is what we do with Go-Gurts? This is revolutionary. And she was like, I used to freeze your sandwich every night. She would make me a sandwich for my sack lunch and put it in the freezer so that
by the time you ate it at lunch.
By the time I ate it at lunch, it was like, it wasn't like
it was chilled.
Nasty,
hot bologna and mustard.
Yeah. It was just like chilled. And I was like, holy cow, I didn't know you did that, Mom. That was so nice of you.
Yeah. See, that's moms do not get thanked enough. But yes, I mean, that's where, having that partnership, talking about the budget, talking about expenses, because there are certainly things that moms need to spend money on that are a luxury, but it's almost, is it really a luxury or is it a necessity to get everything else done?
Well, yeah, definitely. I remember my mother pinching pennies, refusing to buy me the things that I demanded, had a fit in the middle of the store. And she's like, it's not in the budget. Unless you literally have a spouse. And this is not necessarily a wife, a husband, one or the other. It's just if your spouse is just out there spending money just to spend money, that's one thing. But let's not question the decisions of the house manager, which is basically what the stay-at-home parent is.
They know how much.
A lot of us, it was a stay-at-home mom. When the house manager is making those decisions and making those choices, maybe that's not the best time to question them about it.
I think it's a common thing that the mom will go without. Like you'll have kids with brand new clothes, things like that, and mom hasn't had a haircut in 6 months or hasn't bought new clothes in 3 years and hasn't treated themselves. So then it turns into Mother's Day, gifting on a budget.
Yeah.
So the average consumer spending for Mother's Day is nearly $275. Remember, thoughtful doesn't have to be expensive. Memory-driven gifts, experiences together create lasting memories. Okay, so, but again, you've got to think about what does the mom really want. Same thing with what we've talked about with dads is, most dads are probably just wanting like a day off where they can go let me go do something with my friends, do whatever. Moms probably want the exact same thing. Oh, we're going to all as a family go do this. I mean, they may want that, but it may be a combination.
I mean, I think it depends person, obviously. All I want in the world is to be left alone.
Yeah.
Or, but not necessarily everybody is like me. I understand that I'm weird in that sense.
Yeah. It could be that it's like, hey, let mom sleep in. I'm going to take the kids out and we're going to go do breakfast. You've got the morning to yourself. Do what you want to do. But it's maybe you're aware of the fact that mom has really been needing a new pair of tennis shoes or hasn't got a haircut in a while. So here, we've booked you a spa day. Go do what you want to do. But don't be like the father of the bride thing and like give the little wifey a blender unless she really wants the blender. But like, do not give her a new vacuum.
He thought you might like to blend something.
But like, don't give her like, here's a new broom. Here's a new like.
Oh, listen, vacuum
Do your
cleaner,
chores better with these
vacuum
presents.
cleaner is the worst present to give a spouse ever. Don't ever give a spouse a vacuum cleaner. That's what I have learned in my so many years of being married is you don't give a vacuum cleaner as a gift. That's just wrong.
Don't give something that's a necessity for the house. That's not a gift to the mom. Buy it and say, hey, I happen to also pick this up, but this is not your Mother's Day gift.
It's a joke. Preface it by saying that it is a joke. The joke in my family was always, what do you buy, Mom? And she was always like, jewelry. What jewelry?
Yeah. I try now with my mom do more like quality time, try and like if it allows a trip for us to go on or something like that. Because I realize at this point, time and memories are more important than things. And if I find something great, but she doesn't need any more trinkets, she doesn't need any more things unless they're actually special. But it's, hey, we're gonna go to the movies together, or we're gonna go to dinner, and actually making it happen, and not just like, hey, I gave this to you, at some point we'll do it. Okay, so helping mom with her finance. Well, mom's been superhero. She's been managing a household. She was managing checkbooks before I knew how to walk. But how do you help our moms out? So encourage mom to set up a will or estate plan. Obviously, make sure she's protected.
Encourage dad to also have a will or estate plan to make sure that mom is taken care of.
Yeah.
I say that specifically because men usually die earlier than women do. So usually the husband is the first to go.
Yeah. So make sure they're taken care of with all financial aspects and legal aspects.
Health insurance is a big thing.
Yeah.
And also, one of the things that we have to talk about is that we have a lot of moms, a lot of wives who have spent their life dedicated to basically taking care of kids and doing everything to run the household.
This is where we talked about we got to take care of the parents. Make sure mom and dad aren't getting victim of fraud, because there's so much stuff out there. And so don't be frustrated when they don't know if an email or a text message is real or not, or they have issues with their phones, because that's going to be us in a couple of years too. It's a cycle. It continues. Take care of your parents. Take care of your moms. Let's wrap this up, because we love our moms. And, okay, this is coming to you Thursday. Mother's Day is just a couple of days away. Make sure you got your gifts.
Present? You can make something. If you don't have the money to buy, you can make something. Moms, I know this because my mom always loved my art project.
Your art project?
As a Mother's Day gift.
I'm telling you, this year, make one and give it to your mom for Mother's Day.
That'd be amazing.
I just would love
buy
to
some
see the
clay.
reaction.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Make her an ashtray that's like,
Who even has ashtrays?
I don't know.
You guys, did y'all even, smoking wasn't even a thing in the house when you were growing up, was it?
My grandparents smoked in the house.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine did
okay.
too.
Neither of my parents smoked, but if they had a guest in their house that smoked, they would pull an ashtray out of the cabinet for the guest.
Yeah.
Inside the house. It blows
incredible.
my mind.
What?
It would never happen these
No.
days. Anyway.
Yes.
So this is a sincere thank you to every single mama out there. And again, mama does not mean that you necessarily birthed a child. Moms come in many different shapes and sizes. But if you are looking out for somebody, you've taken care of somebody in your life, you're a mom. And so we thank you very much for what you do. We love the mom-isms. You truly are the first teachers that anybody has, and you make a huge impact on the type of humans that are in this world now.
Thank you, mamas.
Thank you.
And there's the closing bell. Ladies and gentlemen, you've made it to the end of yet another episode of the Bullcast Podcast. If you liked what you heard and you'd like to hear more, please feel free to go to your favorite subscription service and sign up to have our podcast delivered directly to your device every single Thursday at noon. If you'd like to find out more about Court, Katie, Cam, or Nicole, please feel free to go to our website. That website is bullcastpodcast.com. We've got pictures up there. We've got bios. You can learn more about us from there. We've also got a place where you can drop a comment or suggest a topic you'd like to hear us talk more about. But hey, I mentioned pictures. If you like pictures, we do have an Instagram handle. That handle is at Bullcast Podcast. We also have an X handle, which is at Bullcast Podcast, and we have a Facebook page, which is Bullcast the Podcast. So you can check us out anywhere on social media. Also, we mentioned that we work at a place called Pickler Wealth Advisors. If you would like to find out even more about us, because you don't know enough already, you can go to that website. You can find out about us. You can find out about what we do. You can find out about what we could do for you. Find out about our amazing team and or find out about our boss, David Pickler. If you'd like to do that, please feel free to go to that website. That website is picklerwealthadvisors.com.
That's advisors with an O.
Not an E.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've given you everything that you need to go out and make sure that your mom knows that you love her for
Of
Mother's
course.
Day. So for now, I'm Court.
I'm Katie.
I'm Kim.
And we're done.